I am with one of my favorite people in the world, Sam, who just makes me feel special here. She keeps this place running. 3D digital. The glasses, dude.
Yeah, I know.
It's legit.
Yeah,
Oh, well, sorry guys, I got caught up. So if you turn around, Haley, when you look at, see, this is how they make you feel special, like you are.
You should see your green room.
The man when you
Set
walk in.
back
When you
there.
walk in. Am I? Can you follow? Let's do it. Can you show me? Let's do
Come
it.
on.
Sam.
Yeah, babe.
Hey, what's going on?
There you go.
Oh, dude, y'all are legit. I mean, do you see snacks? This is just for like, a 15-minute shoot. This is how they do it. Makeup,
Gotta
snacks.
take care of you.
Oh, the bomb. All right, we're rocking and rolling. Let's get started.
What was life like when you were little? Tell us kind of where that happened, where that took place, and what that was like.
So I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, on the north side of Jacksonville, Florida. And my mom and dad chose to live on the north side. They were working professionals. And although we could have moved, they chose to stay in the neighborhood. My mom and dad, they never missed a game. So at the same time they're building their career, at the same time they're going to school, they're at every game, be it Pop Warner, high school, even in the colleges. So I got a chance to see what it meant to have what I call now the have-it-all lifestyle. At the time, not knowing that that was the have-it-all lifestyle, I just thought that was just what you did as an NFL player. If they ever call you in and say, hey, the head coach wants to see you, bring your playbook. That is not a good call. That's not a call you want to hear. And so I remember getting that call on a Sunday afternoon after a game, and I knew what that meant. That meant, that my services were no longer needed here in Tampa Bay. And so I went in, and Coach Tony Dungy, I have major respect for him. And I remember walking out thinking how awesome he was. But then at the same time, I said, damn, he just fired me though, right? And so I'm like laughing and joking, so I'm going through mixed emotions. And so for the next couple years, I suffered depression pretty bad, because I was a guy who didn't have purpose. For the majority of my life, I focused in on football, and I thought that would be where I would find purpose. And for about 3 years, just in a dark place, I was working though. I was working for a company called Eli Lilly in pharmaceutical sales, and at the time crushing. I was top 5 in the country, making all of my bonuses, but still pretty depressed, because I didn't have purpose. This job didn't bring me happiness, it didn't bring me joy. Although you had money, you had success, you had the accolades and awards, but I didn't have purpose. And so I remember coming home that day telling Sabrina, hey, I think I want to resign from Eli Lilly. I think I want to stop this job making $120,000 a year, and I want to start on my own and do this animation company thing. And Sabrina, so supportive, so loving, she said, hey, well, if that's what makes you happy, let's do it. Let's go for it, And so it's huge to have a partner who's right alongside with you, who's willing to jump with you. And so Sabrina and I jumped. And so at the time, we didn't have a lot of money, but we had a little saved up, and we used savings to kind of start trying to get a trailer together for us to be able to pitch the concept. And so we pitched the concept to a couple investors, and they liked the transition over to South Africa, starting a business there. Really reminded me of the University of Florida again. That first stepping into something different, right? Because for the first time, not only am I stepping into another country where people speak another language, this is a country that's really divided. At the time, it was in the early 2000s, and so you're talking just coming out of apartheid, and so here I am in the middle of this country, a Black American with all white Afrikaans, and so it was really different for me in that environment. Not only that, but the work ethic was totally different. So I did everything that you could have possibly done wrong with my staff. So I remember the phone call, calling the investor to really let him know that we were not going to make our deadline. I remember feeling nervous, but really wanted to be authentic and transparent with what's going on, with a true evaluation of the team, myself, and some of the challenges that we had experienced. And for the first time, this was when I really began to see myself as a leader and stepping up to take responsibility even when things weren't going well. And that's when the light bulb really clicked for me, saying, okay, hey, what does this look like to lead an organization well? What does this look like to lead people in a way that's loving, that cares for them, that pays attention to the whole person and not just the task at hand? And so I remember when I raised enough money to come back to the United States, I signed up to go back to school to get a master's in entertainment, business, and leadership, so that I could learn from my error, from my mistakes. And as soon as I touched down, in Orlando, Florida, man, I was kissing the ground like, oh man, I am back to the United States. But with that lesson, difficult and tough, but I learned so much from it. I learned really the curriculum that we teach today in leadership development, unlike a lot of leadership programs, a lot of leadership coaches and trainers, they have a lot of theory, they have a lot of data, or hypothetical situations. What I did was I went back to really analyze my life, say, okay, what worked, what didn't work. For my entire journey, what I learned more than anything is that this business ball, it's a rubber ball. All right? All these other areas of life, my family, my spirituality, my health, those are glass balls. If they drop, they break, you don't put those back together, or it's difficult to put them back together again. With this business ball, and this is where we really begin to teach with the leadership development training with CEOs and companies, as well as employees, saying, listen, this business ball, I've been fired, I've quit jobs, I've had investors back out on me, and I've always been able to bounce back. And I'm seeing the value in keeping those other relationships and those other boxes filled, because it helps me with business when the chips are down or when times are low. And so therefore, if we can focus in on those other areas, you can really be successful. And that's what coming back from Orlando taught me as I began to pick up the pieces and really put my life back together. And I remember going up to do the invocation, and when I came off the stage from doing the invocation, the senior vice president of a company called Miller Electric was in the audience, named David Long. He's like a father figure to me. And he came up, this was the first time we had ever met, and he said, hey, I know you know nothing about the trade industry, but I think you're the guy who could help take our company to the next level. And I think you can help take our industry to the next level with our people. I think you can connect well with it. After lunch, and we talked about doing a small pilot program. And we decided to go to the smallest office that they had, just in case I messed up, no one would know about it. And so he gave me about 2 weeks to put together a curriculum, to go down to Tampa and to really do a 3-hour leadership development training there. The response was phenomenal. It reminded me again of that back to high school transition from high school to the University of Florida, from the United States to South Africa, because here I am again, really don't know a lot about construction, and I'm here surrounded by men and women who are just gurus of construction. And it was hilarious when they found out that I couldn't build anything. To them it was just a running joke. Which we had a great time doing that. But I shared with them that although I couldn't teach them electrical work, I was able to teach them how to engage with people really well, how to cut down the stress that they're having on the job with communication and with some of the leadership skills that they may not have focused in on over the years. And so I was able to really help them see the value in that, help them develop a way to really put those into practice in real practical ways, and help them ultimately do, like I call, strengthen their leadership tool belt. For me, I believe that people in the trade industry connect with me, one, because of my authenticity. This is someone who is willing to show all of his scars, to be honest with them, to show, how I failed. And I believe that that's what they love. They love someone who's honest and open enough to say, you know what, hey, I haven't done it right. And the reason I'm able to stand before you right now is because I've learned from those mistakes. And I believe that not only do they see that authenticity, but it gives them hope. For you to see someone standing before you teaching a leadership class and sharing his entire story with you of all the major failures that he's had, it says, wow, if he's done that, there's hope for me, and that I can go on and do amazing things with my life. Leadership Surge is a leadership development company that focuses on making people great leaders. We focus in on showing them how they can be their greatest self, How can we begin to maximize the potential that's in them so that they can be great in every area of their life? People should expect a happy, healthy, excited work environment. A work environment where people come to work enthusiastic because they're living with purpose and passion. You should expect a growing workforce who hungers for knowledge and leadership development. You should also expect alignment from the top down to the bottom of your organization. Everyone speaking the same language, everyone moving the ship in the same direction. Ultimately now, from the start, guys and ladies come in grumpy. They're expecting some kind of boring training, but by the time they leave, they're on fire for their life, they're on fire for their family. We walk them through setting 90-day goals of things that are important to them, and the impact that we're making with them is just to inspire me. The number one person on my list is Oprah Winfrey. My goal is to be the Oprah of construction. Drills for everybody. Oprah has made such a big splash with so many people, affecting the lives of people, helping them see the greatness in themselves, and she's built a huge brand built on helping people.